Welcome, everybody, to another great edition of The Buzz with yours truly, Mama T. Today, we are going to be interviewing Minnesota's own Carl Unbehaun. Unbehaun? You know who I am with names. But he hosts a show called Minnesota Homebrew, and he's a singer, songwriter with like 400 songs in his catalog now. So we're going to hear from Grand Forks Best Source real quick, and we'll bring him on. Today's episode is sponsored in part by Grand Forks Best Source. They're a cutting-edge local media broadcasting studio with captivating shows, on-location event coverage, and unparalleled advertising opportunities. Grand Forks Best Source has become a haven for podcasters like me seeking to bring their visions alive. If you're a podcaster looking for studio or platform, or a local business seeking to advertise, go ahead and email Paul at local@gfbestsource.com. You can call him at 701-740-9337, or you can go to their website that's listed on your screen there, gfbestsource.com. Tell them Mama T sent you. Well, hi there, Carl. How are you doing today?
Mama Tia, I'm just doing great, even though the Vikings lost.
Oh, jeez. That doesn't. I'm not really surprised. I haven't even been watching. I don't get a channel I can watch live Vikings games, but I'm okay with that because it doesn't sound good lately.
No, that new quarterback isn't working out.
So we got we are on season 4, episode 8, and welcome to the show, Carl. I'm so excited. I hear this is your first interview ever.
Well, with an asterisk, on Minnesota Homebrew, I had a show where I interviewed myself.
Oh, okay. Well, that does count. That does count. Some people might think that's a little crazy, just like sitting there talking to yourself for an hour, but that's not crazy. I don't think it is.
It was fun.
I mean, me and Jeremy and I have interviewed each other on here because it's all about the music business. The whole podcast is interviewing musicians, local, regional, national, international, even some independent ones we've had on here. And music personalities, producers, composers, DJs even, or people who are in broadcasting. It's all the arts, and it's all just something that needs to be put out there. Like, I started the show because little Bobby was just, he had these passions, he had these legacies that we're trying to keep alive too. So he had me start the show, and because he always supported the musicians, he always supported live music, and he always wanted to bring the kids into the music industry and teach them what it was all about, and encourage that. So here we are, and as long as it's something to do with music, I don't care who you are. I'll bring you on. Let's dig into your head a little bit, Carl.
Great.
So you said 400 songs in your catalog. When did you start writing music?
I think the first song I wrote was about a neighbor of my mother's who was a little on the bothersome side, but a very nice woman. I think I was about 14, maybe. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. And
Wow.
I've been writing ever since. I just, to me, writing music and recording music and trying to make money off of music are all different things. I just write, and if I never do a CD, I guess it's okay. Although retirement's sort of calling me, and I think that would be a nice project. Or as the Canadians up north here say, project.
Yeah. What are your songs about? What kind of genre do you think you would put
Oh,
yourself
my.
in?
Folk pop, I would say. I don't, in deference to Bobby, I don't have a bluesy bone in my body. I started playing in dance bands back in the, I think my first gig was in the winter of 64, 65. And we always played just popular music off the radio, cover tunes.
So you were in a band then?
Many, many bands. The very first one I was in, my brother, who was 6 years older, he had a band, and his bass player was moving to Michigan, so they stuck me in there. I was 14 years old, and it was called the Tremodons. And we played a lot of surf music, and the Beatles were just getting started up, so we did a few of their songs, a lot of Chuck Berry, just a lot of the standard rock and roll tunes of the day.
What other bands were you in? Where did you go? What did you ever play your own music on stage?
Um,
That was a lot of questions. Sorry, I should
yeah,
do one at a time.
not in the bands, but I did play in a succession of bands through the 60s and 70s, early 80s, and then I kind of quit to raise the family. I went into restaurant management. I taught high school English for a few years in the 80s back in Wisconsin, beautiful little town called Elmwood, Wisconsin. And if you know the geography there, it's just south of Spring Valley on the way to Menominee.
Okay.
And great little town, great people. I played in a band there called the Original Replicas. And we took that name because at the time there were a lot of bands from the Twin Cities reuniting after 20 years. And they would always take their posters, the original Thunderbirds or the original Underbeats. And so I said, how about the original replicas? And okay, yeah, there's nothing original about a replica. And they didn't seem to like it. And then about a week later, they called me back and said, I kind of like that. It's growing on me. So, yeah, it was fun.
So speaking of Wisconsin, we've got something in common.
Yes, we were discussing that just before we went on air. You said you were born in Racine, Wisconsin.
Yes, sir.
And obviously a lot later than I was.
Obviously. Not a lot. Come on now.
And I said right back to you, I was born there also. I'm not ashamed at all. I was born July 5th, 1950, and lived there for 6 weeks. And then my family moved up to Circle Pines, Minnesota. And then when I was in first grade, they moved across the border to a little hobby farm just east of St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin, which is close to Taylor's Falls, Minnesota. Yep. A lot of people know where that is.
Yep, I know where both of those are.
And I was born the very same day as Huey Lewis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My cousin actually lived in Taylor Falls, so I do know exactly where that is.
Yep. You just cross the river, climb the hill, go out about 6 miles. Little hobby farm on the south side of Deer Lake.
And that's funny, too, because you being born in Wisconsin and moving to Minnesota, obviously that's what I did. We were only 24 years. It was only a 24-year difference. Mm-hmm. I was born in 74. Okay. So I'm not quite as young as the camera makes me look. And we moved to northern Minnesota because that's where my family was from, or my mom's family. Well, obviously my family too. So when you were 14, what gave you the music bug? What made you think, this is something I want to do?
Well, I was already playing 6-string guitar, electric, learning from my brother, and dreaming of being in a band like the Beatles. And then I got a chance to join my brother's band, but he needed a bass guitar player. So I went down to B Sharp Music in Northeast Minneapolis on the corner of Central and Lowry. And I bought a little short scale Gibson bass and a Fender Bassman amp. And away I went.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you take lessons?
No. This my and same. I have two boys that play guitar, and I did the same to them as my brother did to me. He showed me like 3 chords and said, "The rest is up to you." And I've
And see,
always
now it's so much easier. They've got all the YouTube videos. People can just go online and watch somebody's video and learn how to play chords, and
I still don't know how to read music to this day, but I was always blessed with a good ear. So like if I turn the radio on and hear a song, I can tell you what the chord structure is right away.
And see,
Unless it's some jazz tune by Steely Dan or something.
I love Steely Dan. Come on now.
I do too. They're my favorites. It's just that they're much more intricate with their chord structures than most of the pop music out there.
And see, when I was a kid, I did take well, first off, I had the same music teacher all through grade school and middle school.
Yeah.
And she gave me 3 solos a year. The fall program, Christmas program, spring program. So I always had a solo. So I was always going over to this vocal coach lady that would help me, learn the song. And I did end up taking piano lessons for a while, so I can kind of read music, but not very well. Like I have to sit and think about it, Okay. Okay, no, that's C, that's middle C, that's right here.
Sure.
But yeah, I had a pretty good ear too. Like for as far as like somebody had a piano and I'd hear a song and I'd try to play it on the piano,
I have a darker musical side, though. I have to, an admission of guilt. I started on accordion when I was about 10, maybe. Yes.
Wow.
But I think I gave it up after about a year. But I had one recital and I played the old song, Beautiful Brown Eyes. And I actually have a picture of that.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
Yes.
it's unbelievable.
Took lessons from Mrs. Clarence Prokop, who lived just outside of across the lake from me.
My music teacher was Mrs. Moline. There's certain teachers you never forget.
No.
And
so when we moved to St. Croix Falls when I was 6, they took me to school the first day, and it was a 1-room brick schoolhouse, 8 grades, 1 teacher, Mrs. Holt. And I would not trade that experience for anything.
Wow. How many kids were in there?
Well, I suppose about 30, I would guess.
Wow.
And 8 grades.
That's a lot for a teacher today with 1 grade.
Each grade would have a row, and when it was your turn to be taught, you would come up to the big table in the front with chalkboards all around, and the rest of the kids would stay in their seats and just either read or sleep, I guess.
Wow.
And then in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade, I had the very same teacher, and my first musical experience, other than my mom singing big band and swing tunes at home, was a radio show through Wisconsin Public Radio called Let's Sing, and they'd have booklets, songbooks that they'd come on and say, turn to page 6, and we turn and we'd sing along to the radio.
Oh, wow.
Until yeah, it was cool. Until Mrs. Griswold started coming in from the town, the big school in town of about 900. And I ended up actually graduating with her son, Dean, who lives in St. Cloud. He's a piano tuner.
Yeah, if you can't play, tune.
Yeah. Great guy. I haven't seen him since our 40th reunion, which was 17 years ago.
Wow.
Great
So your
guy.
mom was musical. She had a great voice. Did she ever
and
sing
in
anywhere?
junior high, I had a hankering to play alto sax, so I took lessons, but nobody at home encouraged me, and they didn't want to hear me practice, so that didn't last long either. But when the guitar came along, I practiced literally till my fingers bled, and have never given it up. So it's been 61 years, 62 years since I started.
Oh.
But I've never been the impresario as little Bobby was. I did play lead guitar in a few 3-piece bands, but you don't play much lead in those. You just kind of chunk along, Chuck Berry kind of leads. And most of the time I would much rather play bass guitar, and I did lead vocals most of the time.
You said that you got to play with Bobby once.
Not with him. I was at his dad's birthday party out where Sean Martinson lives now, out west of Thief River Falls.
Sean!
Yep. By the way, I moved to Thief River in 1993 to work for the State Employment Services, and I'm still there, 75 and alive, and but retirement is calling my name. So I went out to there with my good buddy, my beer buddy, Andy Miller. And I brought my guitar and I played a few songs, and everyone else got played, but never been on stage with Bobby.
That was an experience. Like, just to watch him, like, it could be any band on the stage, and they'd be like, Bobby, come on, play. Or it could be any band missing one of their band members. He could sub in on anything. I mean, and then there would be the days that I'd be behind the bar and he'd be on stage and he'd be playing for everybody, and he'd say, babe, get up here and sing. Those people can wait for their drink.
Or he'd be standing on the bar.
Oh, see, he did that before I got there. He had the bar for a year before I got there. And that whole standing on the bar thing, yeah, no, that bar needed to be reinforced way too much for him to have do that anymore. Yeah.
And I bought my first acoustic guitar. It was a Fender back in I was a freshman in college, 1968, over at UW Superior, Wisconsin. And I got bit by the acoustic guitar bug, and that's really been my instrument ever since, writing folk pop. I have a penchant for what I call quirky tunes. The songs that nobody else thinks of writing, and yet, even though I write a lot of those, I sort of write them from an alter ego point of view. It's almost like a character who's a total loser, and he writes songs about his failed love experiences, and yet I write a lot of pensive, heartfelt love songs too. Well,
there we go. Okay. We do have to cut to commercial, but what I'm wondering is, do you have a guitar handy?
I do.
Would you indulge us after the commercial break?
Let me think what I could...
I'll let you think about it through the commercial break.
Sure, I'll think about that. All
right. No, I'm not. I was going to say I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I kind of did, didn't I?
No, it's no, not a problem at all. I just have to get the guitar out and think of what I might play because I'm a little under practiced.
All right.
And I'll get my glasses on.
Okay, Jeremy, we can go to commercial now. He's having...
When it comes to podcasts and social media, stick with the best. Grand Forks' best source. Keep up to date with local happenings and news, interviews with city leaders, athletes, nonprofits, and of course, lots of feel-good stories. Grand Forks' best source is a great way to advertise your business or events with the most economical ad packages available. And contact us to find out how you can have your own podcast with the best studio in the area. Check out Grand Forks' best source on your favorite social media app. Grand Forks' best source, the Forks' best local podcast. Call 701-213-0863 or online at gfbestsource.com. We love the Forks. Grand Forks Best Source, giving the Forks their identity again.
What's up, Red Lake Nation Radio? This is your host, DJ Soko. Come join me if you're Acer Donnell from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Soko Saturday, where I have a new segment, Soko's Metal Madness Hour from 7 to 8 p.m., bringing the North all the new and classic metal to the masses. The first 3 hours will be the old school hits, the rock and roll classics, and all other genres of music. Even country. So come take a cruise with me, DJ Soko, bringing the fire right here on 105.3 WRLN, Red Lake Nation Radio. Yeah.
Pioneer 90.1 is a radio station like none other. Local people get to host their own shows, sharing music not heard on other stations. We partner with area nonprofits to present community events like Riverfest. As a non-commercial service, we rely on listeners like you to help us grow this one-of-a-kind radio station, made just for our community. Thank you for your donation.
Visit littlebobbybuzz.com, your source for Little Bobby merch and music. Keep up with the bar and don't forget about the buzz with Mama T. That's littlebobbybuzz.com.
Ooh, you thought of something.
Oh yeah, when you have 400 songs, yeah, there's plenty available there.
And see, and that's the thing. I always love to encourage the people to bring their instrument, and I just spaced it when I talked to you. Like, I got put on the spot last night, and then here I did it to you now. But if you're up for it, yeah, we'd love to hear something.
Well, I was going to kick out of wedding songs that talk about how, we'll get married, you're my soulmate, and we're going to live forever. And it would take a atom bomb explosion to separate us, and maybe that wouldn't even do it. And I decided to write a wedding song, and it's called What the Heck, Let's Give It a Try. Stop for a second. I just want to point out that several years ago, I started developing hand tremors, which makes it a little difficult to play sometimes. So forgive my guitar play.
All is forgiven.
Okay. I'm standing here today. My knees are knocking because the statisticians say the odds are shocking. I'm speaking, of course, about marriage and divorce. Your mama and your pa have spent their savings, so we've had to listen to prenuptial ravings. Our hopes are all so high. What the heck, let's give it a try. And if tomorrow comes and the feeling has dulled, we'll find us a judge and we'll have it annulled. He'll fix it at the courthouse to have the license pulled, and we'll give the presents back. I just got the ring from little Tommy. Are those his socks I smell? Or a tray of salami if you're hungry as I? What the heck, let's give it a try. And if we drive each other to an insane asylum, someone 800 lawyer will be a dialing or go gallivanting to some Caribbean island to untie the knot. So honey, let's commence the consummation. Let's have every kids be our occupation. Somehow we'll get by. What the heck, let's give it a try. Don't ask why. honey, don't cry. What the heck, let's give it a try. Thank you. And I've offered to play that at no cost, no fee, and no one's ever taken me up on it yet. So
you know what? If I ever get married again, I want you to play that at my wedding. But I've already had two failed marriages, so I don't see that in the near future. But you never know.
Not failed, just unsuccessful.
Yeah. Well, we only tried the first one. I was right out of high school. I was not a very good wife. It only lasted a year. Second one lasted 20 years, but it just one of those things that fizzle.
Well, three's a charm. You never know.
Oh no! Oh, don't be saying that, because I am seeing somebody right now, and I'm sure he would really love an announcement like that on the show. No,
Nice.
we're just going to leave that alone right now. So let's talk a little bit and see, when I do have guests, sometimes they have music videos or videos of themselves playing, and that's usually what we do out of our commercial breaks. We'll play a video or a clip of them, or maybe one of their songs off of YouTube or whatever, after the commercial break. So we do have another commercial break if you have another song in mind.
We could do that.
So tell me about Minnesota Homebrew and how that got started. Exactly what it is, when it is, and how it got started.
Sure. Well, I work at the Northland Community and Technical College, not for the college, but we lease space from them. And I wandered into the studio one day and met Mark Johnson. Actually, before Mark, it was Travis Ryder. And then he left, and then Mark took over. Mark Johnson was a graduate of Northland's radio broadcasting program. So he decided to come up and run the station and teach. And when they had a radio broadcasting program for the students, he taught. They don't have that anymore. We wish it would come back. But so I got to know Mark, and he realized I had a real desire to share original music by Minnesota songwriters. So I started a show, and it was originally 2 hours long, but it got to be too much for me with working. So I cut it down to 1 hour, and it's held every Thursday night from 6 to 7 p.m. live, almost always. Sometimes for a holiday, I'll pre-record a show. Yeah. And I have a current format that's the first week of the month is Coffee House, it's called, and it's pretty much without percussion songs that were just pretty basic instrument and vocals. Second week is a potpourri show, a variety of Minnesota artists. And I should say I also play artists from neighboring states and provinces. I have a lot of Winnipeg, Manitoba artists. And the third week is a theme show. I always try to come up with something. Last week was cities, city names inside the song titles. And then the fourth week is first timers, never before on the show. Ooh. And if there's a fifth week, I try to find something wacky to do. Yeah, but I think I'm going to retool for the new year and just have pretty much a variety music the first few weeks, and then a first timers show at the end of the month.
I'm going to have to start listening to that because, okay, well, you saw the commercial for SoCo Saturdays. That is a friend of ours. He works at WRLN in Red Lake, and Bobby and I were friends with him, and he's been on the show before. He's even guest co-hosted before. And then Bobby had actually Little Bobby's Juke Joint every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. on 90.1.
I remember it, yes.
That was, and he would feature a different artist every week. That was every Monday he was in the studio. preparing his show and sending it over while I was in the bar running the bar for him. So that
Yeah,
was
I
oh
was impressed. I mean, I didn't see Bobby often. I would run into him in the studio usually, and he'd tell me he just got back from down south somewhere, and he was producing a record, and so he was quite well known in the blues community.
you ever play him on your show?
I have.
Good, good, because he's you have access to his last 3 albums?
I'm not. Let's see. I'm trying to think. What are the names of the albums again?
God Made Me Blue, um, Dealing from the Bottom of the Deck, and the one in between, Killer Bee Sting.
I know I have 1 or 2, but I would. We'll have to connect and make sure I have all of them.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
studio probably has a lot of his songs also in their catalog.
And see,
'Cause
that's what I love about Soko too. So on Soko, so he's got this 4-hour show. And the first hour, he always plays a metal song first, and the second song is always a Little Bobby song. And then his show yesterday, the second hour was requests. So he contacted me last week and asked me which Little Bobby songs he should play. So he played. I'm like, you know what? I missed the Simple album. Why don't you play some stuff off of Simple? And that's why he played Can't Say Goodbye for the second song, and then in the second hour he played Leaving You All Behind. And I think he said he was going to play 3 of them during the whole show, but I ended up having to go somewhere, so I didn't catch the whole show. I just waited until my request came on, and then he gave me a shout out for the podcast too. Just an awesome guy.
I'm not so sure he really knew who I was as much as just I was the old guy that hung around the station.
Well, as long as you're not the old creepy guy that hangs around the station, that's all right.
Not, I've never been accused of being creepy. A little on the odd side. I just, like I said, I look at things a little differently, and I try to write songs that nobody else would even think of writing. I got one title called "If You Can't Live Without Me, Why Aren't You Dead?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that I really want to hear that song. Can we do that one after the next break?
We could, yes.
That would be awesome. Yeah, because yeah, I have there's somebody I have in mind that because that's what I was told for many years. Well, it's been 4 years now. You're still alive.
Yeah, really. Yeah, that's the whole thing to the song is that if you really think you can't live without me, you're doing okay.
Yeah.
We
You're
all
still here,
survive.
though. I mean, hopefully you survive. But
I have so many musical friends out there, and they just they'll pump out an album, then they'll write 14 more songs, and they'll pump out another album, and just one after another. I don't know how they do it. A lot of them do it right at home, so the production quality isn't necessarily good, but then there's a lot of them that really sink a lot of their money into recording. I think recording costs are a lot less than they used to be when you had to go into a full-blown studio because of people could use Pro Tools, and imagine that's what Bobby used, something like that.
Yeah, and for a blind guy, I mean, it was just amazing watching him put this stuff together, because he played every instrument and just laid all those tracks on top of each other. And I would sit there and watch him do his show too. Like, all he would do is set it up on his phone, like to play this person off of YouTube or off of this app or off of that app, and play the whole thing. And then he'd go back in and put his tags in there and cut out the commercials, and boom, there's the show. Like, But so when he was doing his music, it was just so amazing. Watching him, he was like this to the computer, but because he was legally blind, but like just knowing where all these things are to click on and seeing all this stuff. I mean, yeah, the cursor was like this big, but
Uh,
it was just it was phenomenal. Like you thought he was a phenomenal guitar player or songwriter. I mean, when he did his producing thing, that was mind blowing too. Hi Dan, nice show. He says, thank you.
yeah. Yeah, we all miss him for sure.
Yeah.
And you're keeping the bar going?
No, I'm just keeping the legacy alive. His legacy's alive by doing this show. The bar went to his daughter.
Oh, okay.
So I still do some consulting for them, and I just go hang out over there, like I don't know. Every time I walk in there, they just hand me a beer. Like one. I have to pay for it after that, but I put a lot of that place, and I did everything I could to keep those doors open, so that if anything ever did happen to him, he'd have something to leave his kids. So I did my job. I kept the doors. I mean, because he was on the road and he was on tour, he needed somebody to work for him for free, basically, because it's a small town. You can't really afford good help that you can actually trust, Plus, when it was dead, I could bring the laptop in there and work on the newsletter, and got to know all the town people. The people around here are just great. They were awesome. I mean, so then when it came down to they needed the rent for the apartment that we lived in upstairs, I was like, nope, you know what? I can't afford it, but you know what? I'm just going to be down the street. I found a place just like half a block away from the bar.
Mm-hmm. Good.
So I'm here for them if they need me, for the kids, anytime anything goes wrong over there, they're like, well, at first they were like, why is this happening? Or, this happened. What do I do? Stuff like that, or music hookups and stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure that they would love to have you on stage anytime you wanted to come around.
Yeah, I don't, I used to be able to go out and play like a 2-3 hour gig, all original songs, no sheets in front of me. But these hand tremors got in the way, and so I don't really perform other than that open mic at TJ's Tavern in Oakley once a month.
I'm going to have to start going there. We do have to cut to another commercial, our last commercial of the show. But when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about 90.1 and the funding issues. We're going to talk about the guests that you've had on your show, and hopefully we can start that off with another song.
Yeah. I hope I could do that song. It involves more finger picking, and it just doesn't have to. I've had to switch more to strumming because of this. The docs got me on some pills, but they don't do any good.
Yeah, I know. I've got all of it, and none of it works. All right, well, stick around. We'll be right back.
Okay.
When it comes to podcasts and social media, stick with the best. Grand Forks' best source. Keep up to date with local happenings and news, interviews with city leaders, athletes, nonprofits, and of course, lots of feel-good stories. Grand Forks' best source is a great way to advertise your business or events with the most economical ad packages available. And contact us to find out how you can have your own podcast with the best studio in the area. Check out Grand Forks' best source on your favorite social media app. Grand Forks' best source, the Forks' best local podcast. Call 701-213-0863 or online at gfbestsource.com. We love the Forks. Grand Forks' best source, giving the Forks their identity again.
What's up, Red Lake Nation Radio? This is your host, DJ Soko. Come join me if you're Acer Donnell from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. every SoCo Saturday, where I have a new segment, SoCo's Metal Madness Hour from 7 to 8 p.m., bringing the North all the new and classic metal to the masses. The first 3 hours will be the old school hits, the rock and roll classics, and all other genres of music. Even country. So come take a cruise with me, DJ SoCo, bringing the fire right here on 105.3 WRLN, Red Lake Nation Radio. Yeah.
Hey everybody. Season 2 of Adulting with Jake is underway, but while you wait, you can always relive Adulting 101 Season 1 and every excruciating detail and every terrible pun, lame joke, and frankly, every poorly acted scene out now on our channel, CookingWithJakeShow.com.
Visit littlebobbybuzz.com, your source for Little Bobby merch and music. Keep up with the bar and don't forget about the buzz with Mama T. That's littlebobbybuzz.com.
So, we've got Carl Unbehaun with us. If you were just tuning in, it's funny. So this Dan guy that was watching, he's a fan of the other podcast I'm on, and that's on Monday nights, and it's kind of raunchy. It's potty mouths and talking dirty and playing funny video clips, but we have good guests on there, and there's a big crew, and I'm the only girl, so I kind of got to keep the peace. It's pretty fun, but I'm glad he tuned in because he's a fan of the other show. So yeah, he's actually he's from out of state. So remind me when we get to the end of the show, we are going to give people outside the listening area the website where they can watch your show.
Great.
I
I should mention that I have a rather odd last name. There are many, we say Unbehauns in southwestern Wisconsin, where my dad came from. If you're in Germany, my last name is pronounced Unbehaun, and it's a German adjective which means rough cut.
That is so funny because my maiden name is Brucker, German.
Yep.
So many things in common.
A little more common than mine.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Minnesota Homebrew Music Show. I solicit most of my music when I see that's somebody on Facebook who is a songwriter, and I send them a little message telling them they can send a download link of WAV files to minnesotahomebrew@gmail.com. And I wish I got a better result. I get maybe about 30%.
Yep.
But I'm grateful for the ones I get. And I've come to be musical friends with a lot of people through that way.
Yeah. You've had a lot of guests.
Well, not interviews. I just don't. I have interviewed a few people in the studio, but it's been quite a while.
You've met quite a few of them, though.
Yes, when I've been down to State Fair, Pioneer 90.1 has in the past had the Ampers booth, the Association of Minnesota Professional Educational and Radio Stations, and they have a booth at the State Fair every year in the educational building. And I've gone down there and interviewed some great people: Greg Connor, Bruce Caswell, Joy Shaheen, Nigel Egg, Michael Riddle. Yeah, but we haven't gone now for a couple of years. COVID kind of didn't really do that in because Amper still has the booth, but it's difficult for Mark because we have it's hard for him to be away from the studio.
Yeah.
But I keep after him every year. Let's do it again.
Let's go. Let's do this. So, yeah. Oh, a viewer comment. Dan, the fan of Renegade Radio, says, "Yeah, no cigarettes and beer on this show," because they always tease me. On the other show, I'm literally always have a drink in my hand and I'm always smoking a cigarette.
And that's the funny part, because Minnesota homebrew is a double entendre. We not only talk about homebrewed music, but we talk about beer on every show too. We have a segment called Beer News, and it seems strange, but people have often thought that I probably have a beer in the studio when I'm there, but I could lose my job doing that.
See, I'm not working for anybody. I'm not even getting money for the show, and I'm sitting in my house, so I can smoke and drink all I want.
Yeah, and I don't get paid either. It's total volunteer.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, labor of love.
Yep. You know what? I think the entire music industry, well, the part that's not industrialized, if you know what I'm saying, most musicians I interview don't do it for the money. They do it for the love of music, to share their gift with the world. And if they make money on the side, even better, but it's all about the love of music.
Like I always said through the years, it's the worst full-time and the best part-time job.
Yes. We have time for a song, and then we'll talk about 90.1.
Yeah, you I have to wear reading glasses. I got this idea from my good buddy whom I've been in a couple bands with. His name is Bruce Bjork. He lives down in St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin. He's a retired CD counselor. It's chemical dependency counselor, worked for Hazelden. And he said this title one day, and I said, It spelled disaster from hello. Wasn't according to Hoyle. Come on, hands. We were meant to be together of the strum, like water and oil, like water and oil. That evening when you flagged me down, I thought you wanted just one thing. In time I realized you wanted baubles and bling, baubles and bling. You say that I'm the air that you breathe, and that I am the butter on your bread. But darling, you're so hard to believe, 'cause if you can't live without me, why aren't you dead? Now I'm not coming back to you, not for all the tea in China, not for all the barbecue in Carolina, in Carolina. You say that I'm the air that you breathe, and that I am the butter on your bread. But darling, you're so hard to believe, 'cause if you can't live without me, why aren't you dead? You should be deader than a doornail, whatever that might be. Deader than Tom Dooley, hanging on a tree. But the last I heard, you're breathing, and you're getting on just fine. So what's the problem? Now I don't wish you any harm. Hope you live to 95. But don't be disingenuous. You will survive. You will survive. You say that I'm the air that you breathe, and that I am the butter on your bread. But darling, you're so hard to believe. 'Cause if you can't live without me, why aren't you dead?
I love it. That's
I
great.
played it for Bruce too, and he liked it, but I don't think it was quite what he envisioned in the song. But then Bruce and I graduated high school together, and he knows his brain here, so yeah.
So did you write that with any particular person in mind, or?
No,
Oh, okay,
no, I
good.
just went from the song title. A lot of my songs do have a person in mind, but
So you're
usually unnamed person, usually.
so the wedding song, did you do that before or after you got married?
Oh, way after, yeah. I got married to Jane back in 1978. We've been married 47 and a half years. I like to think we've had a good marriage. We have 3 children in their 40s. Brian's in St. Paul. Jana and Roy are here. Neither of my boys ever married or had children. My daughter has 4 children. I have a granddaughter, 20, and 3 grandsons, 13, 9, and 5.
Wow.
And they all start with an O. Olivia, Odin, Oswin, and Oliver.
Oh, that's awesome. I had a friend once who named their kids alphabetically. So his name started with a J, his wife's name started with a K, and then their first son started with an L, and then the second son started with an M, third son started with an N, and then the daughter started with an O.
I thought you were going to say they had 26 children.
That would be funny, right? They'd have to come
That
back
would be-
around and start from the beginning again. No.
No, but the show continues. I hope to keep it going for all you people. If you want your original music on the show, we basically say you send it and we'll play it. That's we're very democratic. The only thing is we won't play anything that's if the sound quality is like really poor, or if it's there's any naughtiness or hatefulness in the songs.
Yeah.
I try to stay away from political songs because I had somebody send me a political song recently. I said, I play this and I alienate half my audience right away.
Exactly.
Makes no sense at all.
Yep. And see, I did have a guest on here once, but he's got a very strong opinion and political opinion, and one of his songs has cuss words and is basically hateful. And I had considered having him back on the show again, but I was like, I don't talk about politics or religion on the show. Sometimes I talk about sports, but I don't know anything about it. So
yeah, I'm very family.
I'm veering off course here. We do have to cover this because this is very important. It's important to you. It's important to Jeremy. Let's talk about 90.1 and where the funding has to come from and why.
Well, I'm not overly involved with that. Mark Johnson, our station manager, is. I know they get my show is funded in part by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, legacy grants. He raises a lot of money from sponsors like businesses and people who contribute every year. And there are other grants, but I'm not overly aware of what they are.
Well, it used to be, I think part of some of the funding used to come from the state, and that got cut.
Well, the federal government cut all grants to public radio stations and TV stations. And over. It has to do with politics, of course.
Of course it does. Because, music isn't important. Let's take music out of the schools. I beg to differ. So I'm not sure where they can, if they want to donate, directly to 90.1. Jeremy, where do they go? Let's pop that up there. But Minnesota Homebrew is every Thursday at what time?
6 p.m. Central
p.m.
Time.
to 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And you can listen at the same place you can donate, apparently. Because if you are outside the listening range and you want to check out these Minnesota artists every Thursday night at 6, then tune in to 90.1 FM, Radio Northland, Pioneer Radio. And
if you're out of the area, radionorthland.org, and you can donate that. Click on the donate button. And if you want to listen to us, you click on the live, but listen live, I think the button is.
And I think are there archives on that?
Yes, our shows are archived there. And all of my shows, I've had like close to 600 or something on prx.org.
Okay. And then, well, if they're archived, that means that we could go in there and find Little Bobby's Juke Joint, huh?
I think so. Yeah, I can talk to Mark about that.
Yeah, I want to see how long those are archived, because he always talked kindly and highly about Mark. But I just want to thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing your songs and being a guest.
I'm gonna keep writing it. I just got done helping a friend out at his booth at the Norsk Husfest in Minot, and I came home and I wrote a song about it. And I just like topical songs, and nothing's gonna stop me.
And see, if the rest of your music is like the 2 songs you just played me, I want to know where I can find it, where I can listen to it.
People do ask me, and I apologetically say I just have never gotten around to. I recorded 2 songs actually in a studio, John Kimball's studio. He's the one who owns TJ's Tavern. One was called, it was an ode to Rhombus Guys, the pizza place in Grand Forks and Fargo. And I was hoping they'd put it on their website, but they didn't. And the other one was called OJ's on the Loose. You can find that on YouTube. When I knew he was getting out of jail, I said, oh boy, I got to strike with this. And I thought it would go viral, and it didn't. I think I made about almost $3, I think, on it on what is that page where you put songs anyway.
We do have to say goodbye to everybody. Thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks, Carl, for being on. I hope to look up OJ's on the Loose so I want to see that. And everybody, go ahead and donate to 90.1. Go to radionorthland.org, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, and thanks. Good luck with your show, and thanks for being nice to me.
Well, thanks for being here. Today's episode is sponsored in part by Grand Forks Best Source. They're a cutting-edge local media broadcasting studio with captivating shows, on-location event coverage, and unparalleled advertising opportunities. Grand Forks Best Source has become a haven for podcasters like me seeking to bring their visions alive. If you're a podcaster looking for studio or platform, or a local business seeking to advertise, go ahead and email Paul at local@gfbestsource.com. You can call him at 701-740-9337, or you can go to their website that's listed on your screen there, gfbestsource.com. Tell them Mama T sent you.